Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Rausan. Today we have four guests. We have Alamanda, we have Wisnu, we have Adnan, and we have Andaro here. Hello guys.
Halo,
Halo,
Hi,
halo,
How are
hello
you?
Prodi.
I'm
fine,
fine.
fine.
I'm doing
I'm
great.
fine, thanks.
Okay, today I have a couple of questions for you guys. We have three sub questions, I think. For the first one, we got questions about hobby. Okay. For Andaru first, I think. Andaru, what is your hobby?
My hobbies are playing video games like Dota 2 and reading books, especially novels and mangas.
Okay. Why do you like your hobby?
I really enjoy them whenever I finish tasks or chores. I always spend spare times with reading or playing video games.
Okay. When do you start liking your hobbies?
I started it when I was in elementary school. My first book was One Piece, and I play a lot of Pokemon games back then. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is for Adnan. Adnan, what is your hobby?
My hobby is watching videos. It can be movies and anime, and I like to watching the gameplay of people playing games, especially horror games,
Why do you like your hobbies?
because I think it's fun and it can be easier to get what the creators want to convey through the video or movie.
Okay. When do you start liking your hobbies?
When I was a kid, I often saw the movie on TV and I like it. Then I saw the videos on YouTube and I like it so on until I can say that my hobby is watching. Well, by the way, I can watch up to 5 until 6 hours a day if I have nothing to do, just for watching the
Okay.
movie.
Okay. Next for Wisnu. Wisnu, what is your hobby?
My hobby is cycling in afternoon while watching the sunset
Why do you like that?
because it makes me healthy and relax for me.
Okay. When do you start liking it?
I started it just got a main prize for my the lottery, which is a bicycle in one of the competition in my village.
Okay. Okay. The last one is for Manda. Manda, what is your hobby?
My hobbies are listening to music, watching movies, and reading some comics
Why do you like your hobbies?
because I feel much better when I'm in a bad mood on that day and it can relieve my stress.
Okay. When do you start liking that?
I think when I was in middle school,
So Rafsan, what is your hobby?
For me, my hobby is playing video games, especially online games, I think,
Why do you like that?
because it's bring me joy playing them. It bring me calmness and other stuff.
And when did you start liking it?
I like playing games since 10 year old. I think I forgot what it.
Okay.
Okay. The next question we got about interests. Okay. We are gonna. The first question is, what are your interests lately? Andaru, you can go first.
I have interest in cooking and music. Yeah, music.
What makes you interest in cooking and music?
Cause music gives me chill, and about cooking, after watching few YouTubers made cooking videos, I also joined amateur cooking class. Yeah,
Okay. When do you become interested in them?
not a long time ago, and I have interest in music since middle school. Yeah, and it's getting stronger after listen to instrumental music.
Okay. Adnan, you can go next. What are your interests lately, Adnan?
About my interests, I like listening to music that is nice for me to hear, and sometimes I cook too, and I love that cooking things. Well, even though I'm still very basic in terms of cooking compared to my mother, who is really good at cooking.
What makes you interested in cooking?
I do it and I try to make some food and finally love it. Although I rarely do it compared to my hobby of watching videos.
Since when did you become interested in cooking?
I like things about cooking when I used to have school assessment and I was told to sell food when there was a school event. Then suddenly I become the cook, even though it was my first time trying to cook like that. Actually, it's easy to make the food, but that is what makes me see the world of cooking. Then I like it.
Okay. Next question is for Wisnu. Wisnu, what are your interests lately?
I have interest to see the sunset
What makes you interested in them?
because the sunset is so beautiful. It makes me relax and calm after doing activities.
When did you become interested in that?
Every time when I feel bored and tired during my activities, I take the time to relax and see the beautiful sunset colors with a cup of coffee and relaxing music.
Okay, next one we
Okay,
got Manda. Manda, what are your interests lately?
For right now, I have interest with analog camera.
What makes you interested in analog camera?
For me, analog camera looks so cool, and I feel like we turn back to old days.
Okay, when did you become interested in analog cameras?
Not a long time ago, I think around 4 months ago, because of the pandemic, I always open Instagram and I found analog camera. And
Okay.
how about you, Rafsan? What do you
Yes.
interested lately?
Lately I'm interested in watching movies and listening to music.
That's so cool. What makes you interested with that?
I think it's because it's interesting. I can see other things other than my assignment for school and other things. Just cool.
Mm. And when did you become interested in that?
I love watching movies since my junior school. I think I forgot around that
Mm,
times.
okay.
Okay. The last sub questions is talent about talent. Okay. What are your talents? You can start, Andaru.
My friends from high school said that I'm decent at singing, even though I'm not really good at it. But I'm also good at badminton.
Okay. What? Why do you think it is your talent?
About singing, I don't know yet, but I play a lot of badminton games with my siblings and friends.
When did you realize it's your talent?
Probably when I was 11th grader, we had few stage project back then, and my friends told me that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Adnan, you can go next. What are your talent, Nathan?
About talents, in my opinion, I'm good at tidying things up
Why do you think it is your talent?
because I like to organize things and also like to see things neat.
Okay. When did you realize it is your talent?
Maybe since childhood, but I don't really like it.
Okay. Vishnu, you can go up next. What are your talent, Vishnu?
About my talent, I think I'm pretty good at drawing
Why do you think it is your talent?
because every time I draw, I feel my drawing is good and my mother said same.
Okay. When did you realize it is your talent?
When I showed my drawing to my mom and he said it was good.
Okay. Last but not least, we got Manda. Manda, what are your talents?
I don't think that's my talent or not, but I'm pretty good at saving money
Okay. Why do you think saving money is your talent?
because I can't resist buy anything for my dream stuff, so I can buy that with my own money.
Okay. When did you realize it is your talent?
When I was in high school, that my chairman told me that I'm so good at saving money.
Okay. Nice.
How about you, Rapsan? What is your talent?
I think my talent is almost the same about my hobby. It's about playing video games in general.
That's so
Why
good.
do you think that it is your talent?
I think because I can be decent at every video game I played. I'm not so good, just decent, I think.
When did you realize it?
Since the first time I played video games, I think it's about when I was 10 years old, I think. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Okay, okay. That's it about today podcast. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, thank
Bye.
Bye.
you.